Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be making some sugar cookies. So I softened up 3 sticks of butter and 3 tablespoons of cream cheese, and I added in 1.5 cups of sugar. And all of the ingredients can be seen on the video, the amounts that you need. But so these sugar cookies that we're making are going to be like some soft soft and thick sugar cookies, not thin and brittle. So the cream cheese makes it really nice and soft, and there's some really good cookies, especially with the royal icing that we're going to be making later. So right now I'm just mixing up this mixture actually for 5 minutes with an electric beater. So you just want that to be all incorporated and nice, light, and fluffy. To that mixture now we are going to add 1 whole egg, and then I'm going to separate 2 eggs and just use the yolks in the mixture. So I'm just separating them here, and you can discard or save the egg whites, but then we're just going to add the 2 egg yolks to the mixture. Now that we have our eggs, we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and half a teaspoon of almond extract. The almond extract makes these cookies really good. The flavor that it gives it is really nice. So we're going to add in those extracts and then beat it again until it's incorporated.
I love you.
For the last of our mix-ins, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, and then we are going to sift 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So just go ahead and measure out your 3.5 cups and sift it. That way there's no big chunks of flour and your dough is nice and smooth. So we're going to add in that flour and then mix it together with a rubber spatula at first, and then mix it with the electric mixer. Everything should be incorporated now and starting to form a really soft dough. So we're going to take some plastic wrap and just spoon it all out onto the plastic wrap, and we'll tighten it up into a disc. So the dough is really soft, don't be alarmed by that. We're going to wrap it up and then we're going to chill it for about 2 hours or longer. It is really soft, so the longer it's in the fridge, the better. I let my dough sit overnight, so it's really hard now, so I'm just going to flour my work surface and put that dough on it. You want it to sit out for a few minutes just to let it soften a little bit, because it can be pretty hard in the beginning. So let it soften, and then with your rolling pin, keep rolling it out and turn it about 45 degrees each time. That way it gets kind of even, and if your ends are starting to break, just push them back together. It'll totally be fine. So I like to make these cookies kind of thick, so but whatever thickness you like is fine. So now I'm going to use some of these fall cutters, cookie cutters, and cut out some different shapes for my sugar cookies, and I'm just going to repeat this until all the dough is used up.
I love you.
While your cutout cookies are chilling, you want to ball up any extra dough and put it in the fridge to use again. And then you're also going to want to preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit. After your cookies have baked for 10 minutes, you can take them off to cool on a cooling rack. It may take a couple minutes longer, but you just want a light brown color. You don't want it super dark, but you don't want them really pale either. So just let those cool off. Now it's time to make some royal icing. The royal icing is really nice for when you want to do some decorating. It kind of dries and stays put and is like a really smooth texture and look. So I'm sifting 4 cups of powdered sugar into this bowl, and then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt, some vanilla, and some pasteurized egg whites. You want to make sure that your egg whites are pasteurized, and this is what makes the royal icing different than a simple sugar icing. So make sure you have those egg whites, that way everything sets and is nice and smooth and glossy. Hey, yo. Now that the icing is mixed up, I'm just going to separate it into some small bowls and make different colors that I want for my cookies. So you could just do one color, you could just dip it in the icing if you want. You don't have to be this intricate, and also I'm not a pro. I'm just doing like 2 colors or 1 color, but I'm not doing super intricate designs. I just kind of outline everything and fill them in. But I did want to mess around with some different colors, so I'm using some gel food coloring. I'm just adding as much as I need to achieve the color that I want. So I have some pumpkins, some acorns, and I did some different colored leaves as well. So I'm just mixing that up, and I am going to pipe first, so the thickness that I'm getting now will be good for like the outline. And then once we move on to fill it, I'm going to add just a slight amount of water. You don't want to add too much, or else it gets really, really runny, which I did accidentally for some of these cookies. But so just be aware of how much water you're adding. Only add very little. And then as a cheat, instead of using a piping bag, I'm just going to use some sandwich bags. So I have some Ziploc bags that I'm just propping up in a cup, and then I'm pouring my mixtures in. So once that's all poured in, then I can take it out and twist it off and cut off the tip of the bag and make it into a makeshift piping bag, and that's what I'll use for all of the colors to decorate the cookies. So I did kind of a bad job at filming this, but the trick is to slowly pipe out the icing so that it kind of falls onto the cookie. You don't want to pipe directly onto the cookie. You want to kind of lift the bag up a little bit off of the cookie and let the icing fall down onto it. That way you have like a nice steady line on the cookie. And this is my outline. I'm going to do 2 different colors on the acorn, a lighter color on the bottom and a darker color on the top. So I'm just going to go through these cookies and line them with this thicker icing, and then I'll fill them with the similar colored icing that's just a little bit thinner that allows me to fill it out. I would suggest maybe making like a double batch of icing because I was really worried about running out. So I used my icing sparingly and used a toothpick to move it around a lot so I didn't have to use as much icing. So I would make a little bit more if you have it. That way you can make the icing thicker and don't have to worry about running out.
I love you. I love you.
I'm finishing up these cookies now, and that's going to be it. I'm just going to let these dry and harden, and I will show you my final looks of the cookies. I love how they turned out, and I hope you try to recreate them.